Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Welcome back to a match preview. This is a preview of Copenhagen. Chelsea are taking on Copenhagen away in Denmark tomorrow. I'm actually flying. I'm going out there, so I'm going to be flying to Copenhagen. I've got an 11 o'clock flight. I will get there at 2 o'clock local time. I just watched the Champions League game as well, the PSG versus Liverpool game. Wow, I can't believe Liverpool actually managed to get the win there. That looked like they were totally down and out. But yeah, really, really impressive performance from them. And ultimately, you know, they had to graft their way in an away match where you would have argued PSG are the favourites. Chelsea should by far be the favourites in this game. If anyone thinks that a win is not expected, I don't know. I don't know why would you think that? We're playing against Copenhagen. It doesn't matter who we're playing in the Conference League, and you don't think that we should get a result. I don't understand your thought process. I'm sorry. We have to win this game. This is a non-negotiable. This is a necessity. If we don't win this game, it shows just a lack of maturity, a lack of composure, and the fact that we're not taking this competition as seriously as we should. And I believe we will, actually. I'm just going to say that. I don't think that we will lose this game or draw. I think we will get a win out of this game, but I don't know what to expect in terms of the performance. That is a whole new argument in itself. Will Chelsea play well? I'll leave a question mark. It's an open-ended question. I mean, we beat Southampton 4-0, but I thought we actually played quite badly in that game. And a lot of people think that, wow, it was brilliant. So big up to everyone that's watching. Smash the like button if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel as well. Evening, Tom. I hope you're doing well, mate. Good to see you in the live again. Have I seen what Maresca said in the press conference? Don't worry, mate. We'll go through all of it. So we're going to go through everything that Maresca said regarding this game. And we're going to go through all of his quotes leading up to this match as well. So, yes, we're not going to leave that. I know Cucurella as well had some stuff to say as well. So, yeah, let's break it down bit by bit. Let's go straight into it. Why not? So... Oh, my goodness. Mark Cucurella said, we show in the games that Chelsea are a top club to fight for things. The most important thing is that we can show we have a lot of energy. We want to win and defend this badge in the best way. That's fair enough, isn't it? You've got to win. We are a top club, but unfortunately our mentality is not really what it was, in the sense that we used to go out and constantly win all of these matches. Now I have to disagree with, you know, some of the approaches and just the ambition generally, because we're talking about Conference League and nobody's questioning it. Everyone knows we should win it. But why didn't we feel the same way about the FA Cup? Why didn't we feel the same way about the Carabao Cup? I feel like we should approach those competitions in a similar manner, not because they're easier, because they're actually harder to win, but because we should be competing on all fronts. So it just makes sense to me. That's the way we look at it. What else have we got? So Enzo Maresca on Copenhagen. He said they are a very good team. They are great in the league. In the conference, a good manager. It will be a tough game. So Maresca is taking this one seriously. He thinks it's going to be a challenging match. Bear in mind, he did say the same thing against Southampton, so I take that with a pinch of salt as well. But listen, better for him to say it's going to be a tough game than for him to say it's going to be an easy game. At least we're taking them seriously in that respect. When asked about the Conference League, Maresca said, from now on, I think all of the Conference League and Premier League games are important. We're going to pick one by one until the end and try to win as much as possible. So it's interesting when he says from now on, I think these games are important. Are you implying that they weren't important before? Like, what's the message here? What are we trying to get out of this? I'm not really sure what he's saying there. Anyway, let's take that with a pinch of salt. When asked about Robert Sanchez and the goalkeeping situation, Enzo Maresca said Robert Sanchez starts tomorrow. Not Sanchez. Not Sanchez. You did already ruin that for me, Tom. I could have reacted to that in the flesh, but I already had a warning. Man, I wasted £400 on a return flight to watch Sanchez in goal. Are you kidding me? That guy should be nowhere near a Chelsea shirt. Anyway, hopefully he can't fuck it up again, respectfully. Big up to you, Steve. Did you sleep because you were sleepy in the last stream? Was I? Oh, fair enough. I just yawn. I just yawn all the time. I don't know what it is. I must be permanently tired. I try not to yawn, obviously. I try not to, but I don't know. I mean, I'm actually really tired now, but we were meant to have a stream at 7 o'clock, but for whatever reason, that didn't happen. So I've got home. I finished work at 9 o'clock and finished watching the Champions League match. And here I am. So we are bringing you the streams. It must be done. Darmesh, she says, big up, bro. We have to field a strong team tomorrow. Get the game done ASAP. Bring on the likes of George, Kieran Dewsbury Hall for the second leg. Maybe rest a few for Arsenal at home. No, I would play a strong team against Arsenal, if I'm honest. Like, I'm not saying that. Yeah, I wouldn't rest games for the players for the Arsenal game. It would almost be the opposite in a respect. I mean, we have to take Copenhagen seriously, but I wouldn't rotate heavily going into this Arsenal fixture, because I'm not saying we're going to beat them, but we certainly have to go out and try and get something from the game. I mean, Arsenal aren't playing the best football in the world, but they're managing to get results. But yeah. So fair enough. Damien says we can become the only team to win everything there is in Europe, and it has to be the only target and the only glimmer of hope. Well, I agree with you when you say that. I mean, we talk about the fact that we've won it all. Have we? Have we won the Conference League? Real Madrid, where are you? Barcelona, Man United, all of these clubs, they talk a lot. Where is your Conference League? Where is it? So, yes, we can use that as a flex. It's a bit of a strange flex. It's almost like Tottenham talking about the Audi Cup, but maybe that's where we're at the moment. Big up to you, Per. I am going to Copenhagen, so yes, I will be there. If anyone's going as well, I look forward to seeing you. Dave says, Conor Gallagher, okay. Second leg, I meant not. Okay, fair enough. Oh, well, Arsenal could rotate. That's very true. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure. Sanchez spells not a strong team. Stephen, mate, listen, if Sanchez is in goal, we're all in trouble. It doesn't matter who's defending. Quite frankly, we saw it last season. You have Thiago Silva in defence, you're still going to concede goals, because if your keeper's average, everybody around him doesn't feel comfortable. Whether that's mistakes he makes from a goalkeeping perspective, which he still does, or his distribution, which is also questionable. So those are all aspects that we can look at as well. Last time we played Copenhagen, the starting lineup was Cech, Bosingwa, Ivanovic, Terry Cole, Ramirez, Mikel Lampard, Shirkov, Anelka, Drogba. Now times have changed. We know that Sanchez is instead of Cech. Then who have we got on the right? Maybe Gusto, centre backs. Oh God. I haven't got a clue. We'll go through the lineup though. I'll do a predicted lineup. I'm not even sure. Rotate team for the second leg if we are more than 2 goals up. Absolutely. It's all that's left. Real Madrid and Liverpool will never be in the Conference League. There you go. We'll always have one up on them. Now let's go through more of the quotes that have been said as well, so we have an idea of what the manager and the players are thinking at this moment in time. So, talking about Copenhagen on the Conference League, every game is important from now on. When asked about Robert Sanchez, Enzo Maresca had this to say. He said, he played Brighton away in the FA Cup. Tomorrow he's going to play and we will see. I already said it's a matter to give him different kinds of games to try and help him. Honestly, man, I can't fucking believe this guy. Try and help him. People said that the reason we played Robert Sanchez in these games is because we want to retain or increase his value. Do you not understand that every time you play Sanchez, you are decreasing his value because he doesn't perform well? Statistically, he's arguably the worst goalkeeper in the Premier League. His distribution has to be the worst. I mean, God, if that's not the worst, I'd love to know who's worse than that. You look at teams who have long balls. His long ball passing, his range is horrendous. He doesn't hit the target. When it comes to short passing as well, he's got 97% accuracy with short ball passing. But then you think the other 3% are probably those 5 goals that we ended up conceding from because of his mistakes. So I think that's also a factor. What else? Yeah, I can't believe we're playing Sanchez. I mean, I knew it was going to happen, but I just can't believe it. When asked about Cole Palmer, Maresca had this to say. He said, "Since we start, all the decisions we've taken are to protect players. It was for Cole and Wes, for Romeo not being in the Conference League squad. Now we have Premier League and Conference League games that are important, so we can change players." Absolutely. So we're going to see Palmer potentially coming in. But listen, I would be very surprised if we didn't see Palmer actually start this game. I think it will happen, and I want to see Palmer start. To be quite honest, I want to see a strong team. I want to see us take this game seriously. We talk about the fact that we're taking it seriously, and then I'm seeing Robert Sanchez in goal. Okay, well, sorry about that, but that doesn't really add up. So if we have Palmer, maybe that evens things out a little bit. I know that people think that we need to rest Palmer for this game, but actually, I think this is valuable experience for any player. It's a European away day against a team who were in the Champions League. Copenhagen played against Real Madrid and Man City and all these sides, if I'm not wrong, not long ago, a year or two ago. At least last season, it was Man City. So we shouldn't underestimate these guys. And I don't have anything against playing Palmer in this game. I would then hope that playing such a strong starting 11 in the away leg, when you come back to the bridge, you can rotate, you can have younger players playing, and you can rest some of the older players. Maybe even not let them come in the first place, just let them stay at home. Because look, if you win this game by 3 goals, you're in a great position, and you'd hope that in the home game you grab a couple more. So that's what I'm banking on Maresca doing. If you just take the first game seriously, you literally have a game where you can rest everyone and you can keep the rest of your squad happy by rotating. I'm not saying that Dewsbury Hall's going to be chuffed because he's playing 90 minutes in the Conference League, but he's going to be happier then than if he's not getting minutes. And if we don't take the game seriously, then we'll be in a position in the second leg where we'll have to play a strong 11 anyway. So why not just get it done? When asked about Cole Palmer, Maresca said, "We decided to add him for the final part of the season. Cole is excited to even play in the training sessions, so is for sure excited to play in these kind of games." And I actually believe that. I believe that Palmer is genuinely looking forward to this. I know he has that carefree attitude, but look, he wants to achieve things at Chelsea. He was at City. He's gone to Chelsea. He come here to win trophies, believing that we're a top club, but also a club that will give young players a chance. And I think that Palmer is definitely he's desperate to win a trophy. And this will be great for the squad, guys. I know it's the Conference League, but we're not a team that are full of winners. And to just get this trophy in the bag will be absolutely massive for our confidence. So I'm here for it. When asked about Copenhagen, Maresca said, it's very clear what they try to do on the ball, especially, but also off the ball. They're already a long time together. I was here 3 years ago with City in the stadium. I know the environment, the players, the manager. It's nice to watch them. We will look at Copenhagen's results as well later on, as well as some of their better players to look into. Also, guys, if you have any suggestions of where I could go in Copenhagen for a couple of hours, if any of you know, please, because I ain't got a clue. I'm going to the airport and I'm winging it. Again, with Palmer, Maresca said it was planned to bring him back to the Conference League squad. He wanted to get Lavia and Fofana involved, but those two was injured. That was the plan as well, to bring them back on top of Palmer. When asked about Cole Palmer's poor run in front of goal, Maresca said, I'm happy in the way that he was in the last game, or even in the Villa away game, with 2 big chances. In some moments, he won't score always. This is normal. The good thing is he's there. If he scores, we are happy. At the same time, we are okay. It's okay. No problem. Now, to an extent, again, I'm going to play devil's advocate. I understand what Maresca's saying. He's obviously backing up the player. He wants to fill the player with more confidence, make him feel like he's got the backing. 2 ways you can look at this. The first way is he's supporting the player. He's taking the pressure off the player. The other way you look at it is, what the hell are you talking about? Of course he should score goals. If he's in a poor run, that shouldn't be normal. He literally said, in some moments he won't score always. This is normal. Now, he's not obviously going to score every game, but I don't think that this is the kind of thing you should call normal. I don't think that's necessarily the way I should phrase it. Maybe he's obviously Italian. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't read into it too much. But Palmer needs to solve his goal-scoring run. But also that's down to the manager to play him in a better position. You play the guy as a number 10. He gets marked all over the game. He has 2 players on him. He's got no space to operate in, very tight position. A lot of the time he receives the ball, sometimes with his back to goal. But if he is looking forward, he's picking the pass. Nobody can finish it. So what's the solution then, you ask? If you play him on the right, and you can put him in a position where he can cut in, score goals like he did last season, you know he's going to do the defensive work because he's been good defensively. His work rate's really nice. And on top of that, he can create. So make it easier for the whole team, take the pressure off the strikers and the other wingers, and put Palmer in. That way you could have a number 10, like Nkunku, for example, playing in his natural position. Or, God forbid, we wouldn't have sent out João Felix and Chukwuemeka on loan, and we could have been in a similar position with some depth. So the preparations for this game is exactly the same. It's not 90 minutes, it's 180 minutes. And the 2 games, so we plan for 2. You can manage a little bit different. Obviously, in the home leg, we're going to have a little bit more control. In the away game, we want to make sure that we quiet that atmosphere from the get-go. Now, he also said, we tried to focus on what we can do better, not only in games, but in training sessions. The main focus is to help players improve. The focus is what we can do better day by day and game after game. Okay, I'm here for it. And also the question I ask you in the chat, do you think that Maresca is improving our players? And if you do agree with that, who do you think he's improved this season? That's what he's just said, isn't it? He said the main focus is to help players improve. So who is Maresca helping and who's improving? Is anyone not improving under Maresca? Because I've had this conversation a lot. I think that the number of players improved last season. And I think that there's a number of players who have improved this season as well, or retained their form from last year. They've carried it. But I also think there's a number of players who haven't improved. Gusto being one of them. I look at Colwell and I think that he's not much better than he was last year. The only thing that is better is he is played at his natural position. I think Caicedo's improved. He's gradually got better ever since he's come to Chelsea, really. Enzo Fernandez has improved. Who else is there? Yeah, those are probably the key ones. What do you think, guys? Anyway, let me know what you think. I'll refer back in a second. When Maresca was asked about Copenhagen, they excluded Mohamed Elianoussi from their Conference League squad. He said, this is a question for them, not for me, nothing to say. For us, it's a competition, so we will try to do our best. I don't know fuck all about Mohamed Elianoussi, although that name does ring a bell. Let's have a look. Mohamed Elianoussi. I've spelled that horribly. He's 30 years old. Is he any good? Oh, God. No idea. Why has he been left out of the squad, guys? Does anyone know? When talking about Copenhagen's manager, Maresca said, as I said, the team play nice football. They want to control the game. I watched the Conference League games, the game and the league. They don't change the way they want to play. The style is a clear idea. So very similar to what Chelsea want. Quite rigid. So there's a good chance we could see an open game of football. There's also a good chance that we see an extremely boring game of football. I haven't watched much of Copenhagen. I would love to hope that they pass forward because I know that our players have struggled with that recently. Standout Copenhagen, Zenza Maresca said no. They have a good mix in front, some experienced players like Thomas Delaney, some defenders, some good players. Thomas Delaney, we can look at him later on as well. When asked about Badi Ashil and Trevor Chalobah, Maresca said both are ready. Chalobah, fortunately, but not something serious. Ben is back, trained for the last days and week. Fofana is not in the squad, but is also back. Lavia as well started to train with the squad. Maresca said slowly we have the players back. It's important for the final rush of the season. I mean, Lavia will be so useful, especially in those last 4 Premier League games. Those are crucial games, especially if we drop points in the games we need to pick them up in. Your Evertons, your Ipswich, your Fulhams, your Brentfords. Then Lavia is going to come back and make a massive impact when we play Forest, Newcastle, United, and Liverpool. Those are the games where we need a press-resistant player. And then a little bit of defensive stability, knowing that if we're not going to score a goal, we have that protection at the back. And obviously, Caicedo is great, but I think in some of those bigger games, I've got no issue playing 2 of them, especially Newcastle away and Nottingham Forest away as well. No issue with that whatsoever. Maresca said, unfortunately, our bad moment started with injuries. Now some are back, some are in the process to come back. And I have to agree with Maresca there. Our injuries were the beginning of our downfall. We're certainly missing a number of our players who made a big impact, Fofana being one, Lavia being another. But then that comes down to squad planning as well. Is it really that just losing 1 or 2 players, your whole squad's going to capitulate? Why didn't we cover that with depth? Why didn't we bring back Ugochukwu to deal with that problem? That was certainly something that we could have done. We did bring in Chalobah, which I think was a good decision, but we could have potentially been more ambitious with our centre-backs as well. Maresca said it's a huge boost for me and the players when you see your teammates from the first months of the season, when we are second, are back. It's important. I agree with that. That's certainly going to give us a bit of confidence, knowing that we can lean on those players to help guide us through. Cucurella said when asked about Copenhagen, we've seen videos. They played Champions League a lot of times. A younger squad now with a lot of talent. Same manager for a few years. Same idea. They know what they need to do. A tough game at home in front of their fans. Cucurella also said these last weeks against Villa, we played really well and we didn't have the results. We have an opportunity again to show we are ready in the last part of the season. We are ready to fight. He said as well, when asked about the recent poor run of form, he said, we came from not the best weeks for us. Before this, we played good football in December. It looked like we are the best players, the best team in the league. Now it looks like we're one of the worst teams. Well, I agree with you on that, my friend. I do agree with that. He said this can happen for sure when we are young. We have a new manager, new ideas for 6 months. Expectations are high. We are doing well in general. We play football. We can improve results. We are doing good. Well, listen, Cucurella, let's leave that talk for the end of the season when we say we're doing a good job. Let's get the job done, and then we can go from there. When Cucurella was asked about the Chelsea protests, he said, I can understand the fans can show their feelings. If they think it's a good moment to do this, I can understand. He also said, we show in the games that Chelsea are a top club to fight for things. The most important thing is that we can show We have a lot of energy. We want to win and defend this badge in the best way. He said it's part of football. We understand the fans to support Chelsea. We can understand their frustrations, but it's a long project. We're in a good way. Hopefully we can win something this season. So again, he's going back to the protests. Look, long project, my ass. What the fucking hell? How long? How Cucurella, by the time this project gets kickstarted, your contract is going to expire based on that logic. But Todd Bowley said you'll understand what a long period of time is when you're 60 or 70 years old. 3 years isn't a long time. What? Am I supposed to wait until I'm in my 30s? I mean, what are we doing here? This is ridiculous. It makes no sense whatsoever. So I don't appreciate that kind of language. That doesn't show any short-term ambition. That's an excuse for why we are not in a better position as a club and why we're not willing to compete for those short-term triumphs that fans, quite frankly, expect. And I always believe in processes. I'm not sitting here saying that people don't need time. You look at Ruben Amorim at Man United. That guy needs time. Okay, that guy needs fucking time because he's working with it's a nightmare. It's a disaster. You look at David Moyes at Everton. He needs time. There are managers out there. Postecoglou, in my opinion, deserves time. And I can give you many more examples of situations like that. In my opinion, Maresca doesn't deserve time. This ownership, this structure doesn't deserve time because they've had time. I know Maresca's only just got here, but he is part of a bigger problem. He is part of the problem with the sporting directors, and then that trickles going up to the ownership. The whole structure of the model has had 3 years. So how long is this project? Because if we're 3 years into a project and we just brought in a new manager, are you expecting us to wait another 3 years before things start to click? Is that the consensus now, that we have to wait another 3 years in order to get to the stage where, forget competing, like, is that what it is? Just to compete for, the trophies domestically, we have to wait 3 years. Or is this to win trophies? Because my understanding is this year we were supposed to be competing for top 4 and we were cementing that and then competing for trophies and titles next season, aka the Premier League, domestic trophies, Champions League, etc. You understand my point. Cucurella on winning the Conference League. He said it would be the first time Chelsea has won this trophy. It could be really special. It's a big opportunity to show we are ready. He said if we win everything, it's more easy. We have a good opportunity. We play tomorrow against a tough team. If we win this competition, we have the opportunity to win, bring a trophy. Yes, that's right. Cucurella on if Chelsea have high standards. It'd be interesting to see what he says here. He says, for sure, every day you can improve. Everything can be better. We are the same players who won all the games, but maybe with less confidence. This is part of football. We don't have excuses. We have the quality. Well, let's see it. I'm looking forward to seeing it. When he was asked about the amount of games he played, Cucurella said it's tough. We don't have too much rest. We have to be ready, recover in the best way, and be ready for the next game. It's true, we play a lot of games. He said we can improve. It's not an excuse. If we show we are ready in the game, it doesn't matter the age. Tomorrow we have a good opportunity. Now is everything to play for. When asked about being a wind-up merchant, he said, well, I think everybody has this role to keep the pressure off of the team. I do my best always to help the team. As a young squad, the age doesn't matter. We need to show we are ready. I do love that term, wind-up merchant. He's good at that. I'll give him that. Cucurella, he's like a little rat. Everyone hates that, but if you've got him on your team, then you love it because he walks across. He's on the cusp of crossing the line, but he doesn't quite do it. He never really does it. So he's very professional in that aspect. For me, we need to stay focused on what we need to do and prove. I always say it doesn't matter if you win 10 or 11 games or 5. The most important thing is the trophies at the end of the season. It's time to show we are ready. I understand we have a responsibility because we play for a big club. When I played for small clubs, not at this level, you don't feel this. It's part of the game. You play for Chelsea, a club that needs to win trophies. When asked about the importance of a trophy, Cucurella said, very important. We can show that we're doing well. Last season, we had opportunities to win it and we failed. We can show the project or ideas of the manager are there. So is the ambitions of the players. Oh, fucking hell. When asked about Sanchez, he said, it's difficult because before I suffered a bit like Robert. He's okay. The most important thing is he wins confidence again. I stayed with him in Brighton and the national team. I know his skills. He's human. He can have good and bad moments. But guess what? Players in League Two are human. It doesn't mean they're good enough for Chelsea. So let's give Robert Sanchez the humane approach and get him out of my club. But he is going to play tomorrow, unfortunately. He also said, Cucurella, it's about how he reacts in these bad moments. He has the confidence to do it. Absolutely not. You have no confidence from me. I'm sorry. Absolutely not. Yeah. So more comments from Cucurella. That's basically it. All right. It's a lot of the same old things. Right. Let's see. What are we saying in the comments, guys? What are we saying? Smash the like button as well if you haven't already. We've got about 40 of you in the building. Let's get up to 40 likes on the live. Let's get up to 40 likes. Right, who have we got? We've got. I'll go through that in a second, Tom, my lineup. Stephen says, don't understand some optimism in the fan base when Chelsea don't have a recognised striker now. I agree with you, mate. Although, listen, we're perfectly capable of getting top 5. If you look at the numbers, and you don't read into it too much. Chelsea, if you look at our form over the course of the season, we can pull out results. The question is, though, can we pull them out when we need them right now? And that is where there's a big question mark. Stephen says, Maresca got the briefs from Egbali personally and is doing what yes men usually do. Big up to you. CFC Daniel says, we've got to be going for a strong 11 and grab a 2-0 win. Do you know what? I was going to say you're being conservative, Daniel, but I think you're probably being realistic because it's hard to go out to any team and win 4-0 the way we're playing. I mean, if we only beat Southampton 4-0, then 2-0 against Copenhagen is actually quite respectable. Damien says, I feel like Sanchez is going to get the boot in the summer. The press conference gives a vibe of we are trying to make him look good enough to sell, but he won't feature in key moments. I've got a question for you guys. Will we feature, if we get to the final, do we play Sanchez or do we play Jorgensen? How does that work? If we play Sanchez, I'll actually be nervous for the final. I don't care who we're playing. I'll be nervous. Damien says, he said Palmer will get at least half an hour. Fair enough. Tom said, did you see Mudrik's statement? I don't see why there's been no update from any party regarding it. B sample would have been back by now. I have not seen any statements regarding Mudrik. I didn't even know there was a statement. Nobody seems to have. I haven't seen anything to do with that. When did that statement come up? I'm not seeing anything. I see. Let's have a look. It's an interesting statement. Mudrik says, I have lost 5 family members in the fight since the invasion of Ukraine. Now, the only thing that makes me happy has been taken away from me. What do I have left? It's really difficult to be in this situation. I have said that I'm innocent and I still stand by it. I urge everyone to be calm. The truth must surely come out one day. And thank you for all the messages. So, oh, what? Someone says 1.2 million followers, yet 0 functioning brain cells. Maybe do some due diligence before posting a fake quote. Oh, really? Oh, he didn't post this. Okay, well, that quote is obviously fake. Ignore that. For whatever reason, that is not what Mudryk said anywhere. Maresca's burning out Palmer. Well, he's got nobody else. He's got nobody else. He's got no Feely. He's got no Chukwuemeka. He's got Nkunku there that can play in the 10. So he can play Palmer on the right. That's his choice, though. So I personally think that Palmer should be playing in this game. I haven't got a problem with it. Proper Chelsea says, I'm from Copenhagen. I don't think they're playing Delaney. He's kind of washed. Well, fair enough. I almost want him to play now that you've said that. Damien says, he's the best player by far. They're focusing on the league. What, they're not prioritizing the Conference League. Fair enough. Amin Chiaka, good G. Just met him at the mosque. He's really good young. Wouldn't be surprised if he got a good move to a big European top 5 league. Fair enough. Let's have a look. Lots of PR, Steve. Lots of PR. I'll tell you what, I'm here for it. Big up to you, Fergie. Appreciate it, man. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already as well. Smash the like button. And if you fancy supporting the channel in another way, you can become a member. There is a membership as well for the channel. Right, let's get into this. Let's create our starting 11 for this game. Let's do it. Let's go for it. Where is my starting 11? Let me find it now. That's it. I love this app. Love this website. Right, let's give it a go. Okay, lineup builder. Perfect. Right, you guys can walk me through this as well. Who do you think is going to play this game? My opinion is, well, we already know one of the players. We know that this guy, this bum, we know he's going to play, which is unfortunate, but listen, you win some, you lose some. You can't have it all in life, can you? So Sanchez is going to be in goal. And we're going to presume that we're playing a... We need a different formation. 4-2-3-1. Okay, so that's what we're going to be using as a formation. So Sanchez and that right back. Realistically, who do I want to see? I want to see Gusto. Do I think I'm going to see Gusto as a right back? I do. Yes, I do think I'm going to see Gusto as a right back. So I can see Gusto being a right back in this game. Yeah, and I think he'll be inverting again. I'm not sure how he'll perform, but I do think Gusto is going to start as a right back. I'd love to see him just running up and down the wing, which is what he's good at doing, but that's not going to happen. We know that Chalobah's back. We know that Badiashile is back as well. I doubt that they are both going to play, although I'd be tempted to play Badiashile for this game, but I don't think it's going to happen. So I'm going to go with... do I go Cole or Tosin? I mean, it depends how strong we're going, guys. I have to agree with you guys. I think that Achimpong would be a good shout. I agree with that. That's a good shout. And then you're resting players as well, but you're giving the player who deserves it a chance. So Achimpong starting as a centre-back, I like that. I do think that Cucurella is going to start as well. And I want Cucurella to start. I want a strong back line. I want a strong back line. You need all the fucking help you can get because you got Sanchez in goal, right? Anything to protect the ball from getting to Sanchez in the first place is thumbs up for me. Unfortunately, the system requires the goalkeeper to get involved more, though. So, yeah. I mean, no, I'm with you, Richard. We're going strong. We're going strong, Richard. Who are we playing next to Achimpong? So who's going to be next to Gusto? We know that we've got cover, we've got pace with that Chimpong. Gusto as well is going to be in there. So really, we want a player with a little bit more composure, someone who's going to be able to handle the atmosphere. I'm leaning towards Tosin, to be totally honest with you. I'm leaning towards Tosin over Colwell because I am looking for someone to just get me through this game and stop fucking about. I don't want a player who's going to make silly mistakes. I want a leader in there. I want someone who's going to be vocal. Tosin is the closest thing we have to that. So I'm going to have Tosin in there. It's between him and Colwell. Badiashile could be a shout, but I don't think he's starting this game because he's not fully fit. I don't think I'd put Chalobah straight back in as well. Listen, guys, you can play him against Leicester. You're not playing against the best team in the world. So really, you could have two relatively weak back lines and you still be okay. There is rotation in there. You've got Gusto on the right. You can play James in the league against Leicester. Achimpong's getting minutes. Cucurella provides you experience. He's fit enough to continue. That would make sense from my perspective. Then you come to the midfield. And again, we're going, who's going to start in these games? I'm like, we don't have any options. We have no options. Oh, God. Who have we got in the midfield? Caicedo, Enzo, Dewsbury Hall. Lavia's coming back, but it's like, you're not going to start Lavia in this game because he's just going to get injured again. I'm with you on that. I'm not going to lie. I think it's Enzo and KDH. Caicedo, I've got to give Caicedo a rest. Most people are saying KDH and Enzo. You go strong and then sub them off in the second half. That's fair. There's nothing else. There's no options. There's barely any options. We had Cassidy. He would have been an option in there. We had potentially Guchukwu, who would have been perfect for this type of game. So, yeah, I'm going to have to go. You've got to play. Oh, God. Dewsbury Hall, you need to play him on the left, don't you? So I play Dewsbury Hall there. And I play Enzo Fernandez on the right-hand side. So that's what I'm working with there. This is a team that can certainly retain the ball, except for, when I'm looking on the ball, where are my issues? My issues are Gusto inverting, Tosin taking too much time, especially if Copenhagen are pressing, and Sanchez fucking about. Then if you're looking at liabilities defensively, there's not great cover in the midfield. I mean, I don't feel an awful lot of reassurance from that. But that's when you need the experience of someone like Tosin and a bit of pace from Achimpong as well, and the experience from Cucurella. They're going to have to just ride that one out. And we're banking on the fact that we're going to dominate possession a lot because breaking the press coming out, you've got Dewsbury Hall. He can't dribble. Fernandez, he can dribble, to be fair. He can dribble, but he needs support as well. So then we move up to the number 10 position. Now, my opinion on this, I know some people won't agree with me. I go fucking Palmer. I play Palmer in this game. I take it seriously. You win the first leg, you don't have to worry about the second leg. You mess around in the first leg, then you do have to worry, and you have to make those same decisions. So ultimately, it's going to cost you, right? It's going to be more stressful for the team. It's going to be more stressful for the fan base. Give us that cushion, get the win in the first game, and then we're done. Don't have to worry about it. So that's my perspective on this. You play Palmer, you haven't got to worry about anything. Well, you've got to worry, but you know that you've got a top player on that who will win you that game. Don't tell me that Palmer's not going to cause problems for Copenhagen. He's going to cause problems. Whether he gets on the end of something is another story, but he will cause them problems. Up front, again, totally limited. Totally fucking limited. Like, who do we have? Who the fuck do we have? Oh, God. You thinking Nkunku's going to play, Christian? I think he probably will play, but I'm going based on what I would do. This is what I would do personally. So I'm going to say, I'm going to agree with what a lot of you are saying, and I'm going to put George. Oh, I'm going to put Tyreek George on the left. That makes sense. And then, to be honest with you, if Madueke was fit, I'd probably play Madueke on the right-hand side because he gives a bit of defensive cover as well on that right. So we're in a bit of a pickle with the other two positions. You've got Sancho, you've got Neto, you've got Nkunku, and then potentially you've got some youth players, some young players as well. Are there any young players that we think could potentially come into this category? Also, guys, nobody spoke about Amugu in the midfield. What about Amugu? Maybe coming on as a sub, actually. That won't happen. He wants that. Mudryk, fuck, man. We miss Mudryk. I would have loved to have had Mudryk on the left side. I would have put George on the right. It's been a great game for him. I've actually missed that guy. I'm not going to lie. I've really missed having Mudryk in the team. He's been a player that I think we've missed. We have nothing. We don't even have choices. We have to pick Sancho. We have to. He's got to go on the right, and then you'll have Neto up front. It's either him or Nkunku. But I'm going based on the fact that I'm starting Palmer in this game, and let's just imagine that he contributes to something in the first 45 minutes, and he stays on for another 10, 15. Nkunku is the player that I bring on for Palmer. So I think Palmer is a direct replacement for Nkunku in this match. And then you keep the energy by playing Neto up front. I would be along the lines of allowing Gusto to go up the pitch as well, because then he can link up with Sancho. We know Sancho is not a player who likes to dribble on his own. He likes to link up with players. He likes to be near other players. Those 1-2 combinations where he can make runs, but most importantly, find players. If you go up the top end of the pitch and it's just George, Sancho, Palmer as well, you've got Neto trying to make runs, you've got Fernandes on the outside, you've got nobody making these runs. You've got 4 players back that could be, well, 2 of those players could be impacting on the other end of the pitch. You've got Cucurella who could come up and make an impact. You've got Gusto as well who can make an impact. This is one of those games where use the players that you have to your disposal. Get the best out of your individuals. We know Cucurella can invert, so fine, invert him. And he plays well. We know Gusto can't, so don't do it. Allow the man to do what he's good at doing. This is literally, I would love nothing more. Maresca off the bench as well. That is potentially an option, but I don't see that happening unless we're winning the game comfortably. So that's fair. And Mark Guiu is injured, mate. He's injured. Jackson's injured. Guiu's injured. We have so many injuries, guys. So many injuries. When we look at our squad, we've got some key players out. Obviously, we've just had Badiashile and Chalobah returning. for Fafana's hopefully coming back into the mix. You've got Kellyman who's out as well. Not that he'd do anything, but he's out. Lavia's coming back. Mudryk for the doping. Madueke's out. Jackson's out. Guiu's out. My God. It's crazy. So there you go. We've totally shaved everything. It's all gone. It's all shaved off. So that's where we are. Think after the Arsenal game, Jackson and Guiu will be back. I pray for that. I think Jackson will be a huge, that would be great to have him back. To be honest, he needed some time out of anyway. But the annoying thing was that he got injured, and then straight after that, Mark Guiu got injured. It was like, Really? Why do they both have to get injured at the same time? And again, it goes back to our poor squad planning, the fact that we didn't prepare properly for the inevitable, which is that we were always going to struggle with this scenario. But that's fine. That's okay. That's how it is. So, yeah, we need to get back in the game, guys. We need to get back in the game. We need to get our players back. Once our players come back into the fold, we'll be in a much more comfortable position. And that gives me much more confidence going into those last few games, coming against Forest, United, Liverpool. Again, coming back to those fixtures, we've seen our starting lineup now. So actually, before we go, do we all agree with what I've put here? Do you all agree with this? I mean, there's not really an awful lot else I could do. I could play Achimpong on the right and I could put another centre-back instead of Gusto. I could play Gusto as a left-back and rest Cucurella. I could have a Mugu in the midfield. I could have Caicedo in the midfield, but you need at least one of Fernandes or Caicedo. But Caicedo needs to be rested. And Dewsbury Hall, like, he's got to get minutes at some point. And then when you look at the wings, you've got no fucking option. And it's between Neto up front and Kunku, and you've got Palmer as well, who can start and then come off. Hopefully he'll make a difference. So, I mean, if Nkunku plays on the left, that's just, I hate that. I don't like Nkunku I just don't like him on the left whatsoever. So, yeah. When we look at player profile as well and team profile, where the fuck is that? Let's have a look at Copenhagen. Copenhagen. League table. Why does it say undefined? Well, they're top of the league. I don't know why the hell it says undefined. Yeah, they're first. This is Copenhagen. They're on 40 points after 20 games played. The league there's only 12 teams in the league. Bloody hell. They're on 40, 39 is the next one. I don't know what team that is. So they're not running away with it. It's actually quite a tight battle. So I can understand why one of you said that they would prioritize the league. I can appreciate that. Yeah. Don't really know what to say because it's all undefined and it's in a foreign language. So not really much I can get from that. When we look at Copenhagen as well, it'd be interesting to see their results over the course of the season. How have they done? Have they managed to have a consistent run of form, or have they been up and down as of yet? Sorry, guys. I keep looking at these websites and they keep letting me down. Right. Good old faithful transfer market. Let's go. No, you did tell me, Damien. I'm with you. You did tell me. Watch out for Rooney if he plays. What do you mean, Rooney? Okay. So here we go. So we're going 24-25 season. What the hell is this? Oh my God. Why do they have to make it so complicated? Right. So these are their players. I don't know if you know any of these guys. Pereira, Robert, Huescas, Nathan Trott. Delaney is apparently the player who's not playing. He's 32. He's one of the more experienced players. Do I know any of these guys? No, I don't. I don't know a single player who plays for them. So I'll take that as a positive. Now, if we click on one of these players, I hope that we can see Copenhagen's results. All right. Oh, fucking hell, dude. Okay. So Copenhagen have, as it stands this season, they started off, they had a mixed start to the season, losing 2 out of 5. Then they picked up a couple of games, and then they've sort of gone on a streak of not really being hard to beat, but not winning games comfortably. They only won 1 game, 2 games actually, by more than 2 goals since match week 10, and that was against. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name. These guys are there for the taking. I'm sorry, I'm not having this. You know what? Whoever said Chelsea should win this game 2-0, fucking hell, like, surely we can do better than that. 2-0. They drew 0-0 against Aalborg. Who the fuck are Aalborg? No disrespect to Aalborg, but I'm sorry, but I have to look at this and say we can do better than 2-0. I'm looking at 3-0, guys. 3-0 is my benchmark. These guys, they can't even win games comfortably in their own domestic league. They're only a point at the top. They're not going to take this game more seriously than they are in the other league games, because they're playing Chelsea. They know that we're probably going to beat them. I cannot understand anything less than 3-0. In fact, all right, I'm going to have some leniency because Sanchez is in goal. 3-1. All right, 3-1. I expect 3 goals in this game from a Chelsea perspective. I expect a strong start. I expect us to be in a comfortable position where we can make substitutions, taking Palmer off, bringing in Kunku on. Maybe give Amuga some minutes in the midfield instead of Enzo if you're feeling really confident. Yeah, I mean, we can certainly do some. We can certainly do more. So yeah, that's my stance on that. But yeah, so that's where we are right now, guys. Listen, does anyone think we're not going to win this game? Like, I'm asking you this on a serious level. Does anyone actually believe 7-1, Damien? Bloody hell. Ask United about underestimating Copenhagen. What was the score when they played? Man United. 4-3. Nice. That's actually quite good. So the Man United beat them 1-0, and then Copenhagen beat them 4-3. Damn. They drew to a team who only won 4 out of the last 20. So there you go. From that perspective, I think that, is it not a no-brainer? We should be killing these guys. 3-1 is actually quite conservative in that respect. Damien says 7-1. Fuck it. 8-1. All right, anything's better than Arsenal. I'm with you on that. Anything can happen with Sanchez in goal, Stephen. I completely agree. To think that I'm paying so much money to follow my team, the fact that we choose to start Sanchez, it's like someone spitting in my face. It's like I've put my hand out and I'm trying to shake your hand, and someone just spits on my face. They just slap my hand out of the way. We don't want to shake your hand. Just give me the money. Oh man, we should absolutely demolish these guys. If we don't win this game comfortably, then quite frankly, I'm going to be extremely disappointed. So that's my opinion on it. Listen, guys, we've got just over 40 of you in the chat. If you haven't already smashed the like button, let's get up to 40 or even 50 likes, to be fair, because some other people might have been and gone. And really appreciate all your support today, guys. Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. We're going to Warsaw, baby. Love it. Up to Poland. Not spit, more like farting in your food. Jesus, Stephen. I'm about to go to bed. That is not what I need. All right, guys. Listen, really appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed the show. It was an unplanned show. We were meant to have a show at 7 o'clock. I thought Lewis was doing a show, but it hasn't happened. So that's why I jumped on at 10. But appreciate you coming on anyway. We'll catch up soon, guys. All the best and enjoy the rest of your evening.